What is going on, guys? Crucible here, and today we are going to be breaking down some of the reveals for Set 4 Ultra Limit of Fusion World. There's been quite a bit of variety in terms of how their approach to revealing these cards have kind of been. They started off by releasing some of the SRs, and then they kind of moved into some generic stuff, and then they kind of built up to like some like middle-sized like uncommons and rares and whatnot, and then now we're kind of getting like common extra cards. Like, it's pretty... We've been getting some weird variety. We haven't seen any of the secret rares. We don't know any of the leaders, as far as we know anyway, not yet. We can kind of surmise what we might see, but nothing official has been released just yet. Expect to see individual archetype breakdowns for each of the colors within Set 4 when those release and more reveals kind of get revealed. But without further ado, let's kind of get into it and break these down. So we're going to start off with green. Green will be getting a Son Goku SR. 3 cost, 25k power, no combo. When attacking, if attacking a battle card with a cost of 4 or more, this card gets 25,000 power for the battle. Then place 1 card from your energy into its owner's drop. And then at the end of your turn, if energy is placed into its owner's drop by this card's skill during this turn, draw 1 card, then add this card to your energy and rest mode. This is a very interesting card. This card, very early on, will help you keep the board clear. It is essentially going to be a 50,000 card battle card when attacking an opponent's battle card. It basically cycles out an energy. To activate the effect, you're getting rid of an energy, but you're also replacing that energy that you're getting rid of with this guy as well. On top of that, you're also drawing a card, so by playing this guy and then drawing after you're replacing him, so you're not losing any hand advantage in doing so, which I think is pretty cool. This card could actually be pretty good in Piccolo. Piccolo is a deck that needs to get to 8 energy, but it lacks the ability to really be able to get there efficiently enough. So having something that you can have on board that helps to keep the board semi-clear could actually be beneficial for Piccolo. I know Piccolo right now, like his big card that he runs in the deck is obviously the 6-drop Piccolo that plays like Special Beam Cannon and other extra cards for cheap. They're also playing the 5-cost Gohan that removes a 4-cost or less on board. Piccolo runs a decent amount of removal. And so having something like this that's just hard pressure onto a battle card could prove to be a little beneficial. Plus, you're able to ramp that turn, and you're not really losing the ramp that you're putting in either. So you're staying consistent by keeping that energy pool high, depending on when you play this. So it's not a bad card. I'm just curious to see what other stuff might be coming with green to kind of maybe help decks like Piccolo out. This could also be a good card to play in Gohan. Running it with the Saiyan package, it's another Son Goku Saiyan that you can search off of searchers. So I mean, there's some utility here. Then we got a 4-cost Topo, 30k power, 5k combo. He's Universe 11, God of Destruction, and Pride Troopers, where on play, you take a damage, and if your leader's awakened, you add this top card of your deck to your life. This is also a good card. Jiren is an annoying deck to deal with. However, there are a lot of decks out there that have a means of being able to get rid of the 4-cost SR Jiren. Blue is just able to bottom deck Jiren into oblivion. Like, Jiren stands no chance against a blue deck in most cases. You also got black, which has the 4-cost Pan that's able to bounce stuff back in the hand. Yellow is able to, but yellow has the ability to kind of give a little bit of removal with like Final Explosion, and like other KO abilities, like the 6-cost Frieza is able to get a KO off, but yellow's not really optimal against red anyway, and usually in a yellow versus red matchup with Jiren, yellow's not really doing much. Red also has Beerus. Beerus can also minus, the Jiren on board. So the thing that's great about this card is strictly from the fact that it's an on-play effect. So you play this guy, it meets the criteria for Jiren, where he needs to have a 30,000 power battle card on board, in order to only take 1 damage. And you're drawing 2 cards just on play, which is very strong. This is very different from what the Jiren does. The Jiren, you have to wait until your opponent actually swings into you for you to be able to activate the ability. So you're kind of playing around your opponent with Jiren, whereas with this, your opponent has to play around you since you're the one that's actually getting the +2 in hand. So I think this is going to be a staple in Jiren, especially when going up against like blue decks and black decks that can remove those 4-cost Jirens. Just being able to play this and get 2 cards in hand like right away once you're awakened is actually really, really strong. Then we got another Gotenks card for blue. This Gotenks is a 4-cost, 30k power, no combo, where a permanent skill, if you have 10 or more cards in your drop, this card gets 5,000 power. And then on play, you place the top 2 cards of your deck into your owner's drop, then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with a cost of 3 or less and place it at the bottom of its owner's deck. So this is interesting because we are getting a new type of blue deck, which I think blue probably could have used a little bit more variety. So it's getting some self-milling options, which is really interesting because blue is the kind of deck that you kind of want to like safeguard as many cards as you can, in terms of like your hand advantage, right? So playing this guy to potentially lose some good stuff in your deck is a bit of a gamble. But what's interesting is that obviously, like if you're milled out, if you're milling out and you have 10 cards in your drop, he gains 5,000 power. So he's 35k power like at all times, which is very strong for a 4-cost card. And especially in blue, it's very strong. Makes it a little bit harder for red decks to really kind of minus him down. But then you're also KOing a 3-cost or less and placing it at the bottom. Not KOing, but you're bottom decking a 3-cost or less as well. Again, this is kind of similar to the Goku in green. We kind of need to see like what other kind of cards are going to be milling out your deck, and kind of seeing what the leader and stuff does too. But there's some interesting tech here with what this guy is offering. What's also interesting too is that you're able to play the 3-cost Gotenks down, swing with the 3-cost Gotenks, and then play this guy off of the effect. So you're safeguarding the 10k combo that the 3-cost Gotenks offers, and then you're placing this guy, replacing this guy with, or the 3-cost with the 4-cost here, and then he's 35k defensively. Makes it really hard for him to remove, especially on like turn 3 if you can play him early. Yeah, I mean, I think this is a solid card. I think it really just depends on what blue is going to be introducing with this new mill mechanic that it's going to be introducing. Then we have the first black SR, which is Trunks. It's a 2-cost, 20k power, 5k combo. Permanent on your opponent's turn. If you have an energy marker, your non-Trunks GT battle cards can't be removed from the battle area by your opponent's skill. And then on play, add up to 1 card from your life to your hand. This card's excellent. This is basically the yellow 3-cost Vegeta for black. So this is a card that you do not necessarily want to be playing early on. This guy's going to be a lot more beneficial in the mid to late game, especially when you're able to kind of keep your board, especially when you're trying to keep your board kind of built up. This is great for Super Saiyan 4 Secret Rare because the biggest problem with the Super Saiyan 4 Secret Rare is that there's so many decks that have easy removal for 4 costs or less. Like yellow now has a KO option to remove them off board. Blue bottom decks everything. Black is also able to bounce them back to hand. Red's able to get him down and at least minus him to a degree. Green can just KO him outright with a lot of their cards, right? There's so much removal in Fusion World right now that it's hard for me anyway, and especially with me really enjoying the black archetype, it's really hard for me to justify constantly playing the Secret Rare back to back to back if you're not able to at least keep 1 on the board. So having a card like this is fantastic because it'll not only gives your opponent a separate target that they're going to have to focus on in order to remove your Secret Rares, but the fact that he also self-awakens, the fact that he is, protecting all the other cards that you might have on board. And he's only 2 costs. He only costs 2, so he's better than the 3-cost Vegeta. I think this is a great card for black. I really do. This is a great card for black, and I think it's going to be a staple going forward into set 4. And then speaking of black, black is Super Saiyan 4 specifically for Goku is getting a lot of support going into set 4. Just like this Pan GT, 1 cost, 10k power, 10k combo. On play, you choose up to one of your Son Goku GTs, and it gets 5,000 power for the turn. Then, if you have an energy marker, that card gets 5,000 power for the turn. So, basically, this is Margarita for black. And what's great about this card is that, unlike Margarita, you're able to boost your leader card. So, you can play her on board for 1 energy. They get 5,000 for the turn for your Son Goku GT. So, that is your Super Saiyan 4 leader. That's going to be your 3-cost. That's going to be your 3-cost energy marker maker. It's going to be your secret rare. It's going to be one of the later cards that we're going to reveal in this set. Like there are so many Son Goku GT options for this card. Like I almost don't see a reason why you shouldn't run this card at any point, especially if you're running Super Saiyan 4 Goku. That being said, I don't think you're going to see much use for her in Bardock, just because you have 1 less target you're really going to be using in Bardock. But if you're running a Super Saiyan 4 deck, I think this is a great card that's going to go with that, with what that deck is trying to do. And like I said, just getting an extra, technically getting an extra 20,000 power, because you're going to be comboing her off more than likely if you're not playing her defensively. You're getting 20,000 power, so it's a great card. Margarita's great. This card's great. Then we have a 2-cost Gohan for green. That's a Self-Awakener. Now, green doesn't really get much in the way of Self-Awakeners, so this is a nice surprise. So this is Son Gohan Youth, 2-cost, 15k power, 10k combo. With a permanent skill, if you have a field with Full Moon in the card name in your battle area, this card gets 5,000 power. Then on play, Self-Awaken 1 life to your hand. So the Self-Awaken bit is not all that great, because in most matchups, I don't think green really wants to Turbo Awaken in a lot of cases. Unless you're able to like Piccolo's not a deck that you want to Turbo Awaken, because you're not going to be getting much from Piccolo in that regard. But Gohan might be one that you may not necessarily want to Turbo Awaken either. But droids can play fast enough where maybe you do want to Turbo Awaken. Cell is one that could benefit from Turbo Awakening just because of how limited his Awaken ability is. You're only going to proc that off every once in a while. So maybe he might be an option for it. But really, the only time you're really going to use Self-Awakening a green is if you're going up against a crit leader. And you want to preserve the cards in your hand in the card to be able to get those cards in life to hand. So the Self-Awakening bit isn't really anything too crazy on this. Welcome for sure, but not necessarily something that I'm gonna revere about this card. But what is interesting is the fact that green is getting its 3rd field card. We don't know what the specifics of the Full Moon field card are going to be doing. We don't exactly have an idea as to what's going to be happening with that. But getting 5,000 power makes this guy, 20,000 power battle card, which is a little bit of extra pressure on your opponent, whether they are awakened or not, which I think is really nice. But Full Moon is a very interesting idea. Maybe there's some sort of pseudo evolve mechanic that's put into green. Maybe Full Moon is something strictly powering up Great Apes or something like that, and specific cards that have these types of effects. We could be seeing some Great Apes in green, which would be interesting. Maybe it's a Vegeta for green. Maybe it's a Nappa or a Raditz. We'll just kind of have to wait and see who the leader's going to be for green. But I mean, this is still an interesting card. It gives us more questions than answers, which I think could be really fun for these early reveals when it comes to revealing the new set stuff. And then finally, for this particular video, we're going to talk about the new Double Striker for black. So we got Son Goku GT, 4 cost, 30k power, 5k combo, where he has got a permanent skill where if your leader is Son Goku GT, and this card is 45,000 power or more, this card gains double strike. There has been a lot of questions about this guy. I've been seeing a lot of people saying that this works on combo and whatnot. This does not work on combo. If you want an example of how this card functions, think of the 3-cost draw coup in red. If you play that draw coup and you swing with that draw coup in any other deck but U7, you are not drawing a card. If you were to boost up that draw coup to 5,000 with starter coup, it would go off. Boosting up with Margarita, we'll be able to get that effect to go off. It's basically the exact same thing here. When you get cards that have these types of effects, they are specifically referring to what their actual power is before battle. Because anything that you combo while you're in a battle is combo power, not actual power. So for this, it's very interesting tech, because this is basically symbolizing that you want to use the Super Saiyan 4 Goku leader ability and use the marker to boost this guy by 15 to be able to get this effect, which is pretty good. You're basically playing this for 4. Technically, you're playing this for 4. But to get the effect off for double strike, you're still paying the same amount that you would for Bardock. So while I don't see that this double striker is going to replace Bardock, I think you can easily make an argument that you could run this alongside the Bardock for additional pressure. And especially considering that you're already running so many Son Goku GTs anyway, maybe you get some benefit off of the 1-cost Pan for black to boost up even further. Which, if you think about it, like if you don't have the energy marker up, it actually works that way too, because you can play this guy for 4 energy, spend 1 regular energy to boost them up to 40, and then play another energy of 6 to basically boost them up to 45. So there's ways to hit this double strike. Yeah, while I will say that black still needs like some removal, and that's what makes the Bardock double striker as good as it is, I do not think that this card will necessarily replace the Bardock double striker. I think it is just going to be something you run in tandem with it. Specifically, like I think you're only ever going to run this guy in Super Saiyan 4. You're not running this in Bardock. So just kind of food for thought for that. But I saw some contention with this card, and I at least wanted to kind of address that, and just clarify that for people that no, combo power is not power. Combo power is combo power. So you need to boost this guy up to 45 beforehand before you swing this in battle. All I'm saying. So that's going to do it for this video, for the early reveals of this video. We will try and get one more out. I go out of town this weekend, so I'm going to try and get one more out for the remainder of the reveals. The remainder of the reveals they're not as interesting as the ones that I showed in today, but I at least wanted to at least get some of these reveals out of the way. Shorts are still going to go up on the channel for every new reveal. We're working on those right now, and they'll be going up over the course of the week. But yeah, that is going to do it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed, please consider hitting that like button. Subscribe down below. We are on our way to 300 subscribers. We only need 85 more to get there. So slowly but surely we will get there. I do appreciate all the love and support as always, though. But until next time, thank you guys again, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.